We've all probably got something like this, which we use for gutting locks and showing the pins and putting the various components down. The problem with something like this, as you can see, it's a flexible rubber mat. When I pick it up, things move around. If it's knocked, then obviously bits can fall off there. And well, it is what it is. It's a rubber pinning mat. But when Andrew Law from LawLock Tools announced this particular product, this pinning tray, I was quite pleased to see this, because I think something like this is a really good replacement for the rubber mats that we have. Just for full disclosure, as you can see, this is the invoice for the pinning tray. I paid £78.60, which may seem like an awful lot of money for something like this. But anyway, this is not a paid for promotion. This has not been given to me for free. What I've done here is I've taken an Acer Abloy lock apart, just to show the features that are on this particular pinning tray. As you can see, each of these wells is quite deep, and you can't actually physically pick the pins up with your fingers, which has already been pointed out as being maybe something of a disadvantage. But I've got pinning tweezers everywhere basically, and as you can see, there's a little compartment at the top of the tray here where you can actually place your tools for working on cylinders, which I think is quite useful. And obviously pulling pins out of these particular chambers, picking them up, putting them down with a pair of tweezers is no problem whatsoever. But the great thing about this is if you knock it, if you shake it around, if you move it, nothing is actually going to fall out of this. You could almost pick it up and drop it down on the bench if you wanted to. Everything is contained, which is I think quite a useful feature if you need to pick this up and put it to one side. But also you can see you've got 4 countersunk screw holes around the outside there, so you can actually physically screw this down if you wanted to, which would make this very secure. As for the pinning tray itself, as you can see at the top, there's a cutout there for your accessories. There's a square cutout in the middle here, which is useful for putting the cylinder retaining clips and things like the cam and other parts. And down the bottom here, there is provision for putting at least 2 cylinder cores in there, as you can see, and they actually hold the core really quite securely. The flat on the back of the core there means that doesn't roll around, and you could quite easily, I would imagine, be able to pick up a pin and pop it into this without fear of it rotating around and losing the contents from what you're working on. So here we've got 4 rows of 7 bays, if you like. Obviously there are 7-pin locks out there. This is a 6-pin lock. As you can see, I've been able to put the springs in the bottom. I've got the main driver pins here in the next compartment up. Here I've got my master wafers, which is really useful for checking that you've got the right master wafer in the right place before you put the cylinder together. And then at the top here, of course, we've got provision for the key pins. So this is perfect for nearly every single cylinder out there. And obviously if I do something with 7 pins, like a multi-lock for example, then obviously I've got a spare slot there. On the right hand side here, you can see that we've got 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 20 round slots there, which would be perfect if you're working on a disc detainer lock. So when you take the discs out and their spacers, you'll be able to put them in order on the pinning tray here and be able to work on a disc detainer lock just as easy as you can on a pin tumbler. From what I understand, these have come about because Andrew has bought or acquired a new HAAS milling machine, which is a really top-notch American brand milling machine, and you can see that the quality of this from his milling machine, it's just been machined perfectly. And I understand that this is 6082 T6 aluminium, which basically is the strongest of all of the 6,000 grade alloys that are worked on. It's a commercial aluminium section product, basically, which is used for welding and structural applications as well. So I mean, this is just bulletproof. It's going to last a long time, basically. So as a pinning tray goes, I think it's excellent. So, you know, here we are. It's an expensive item, but I'm going to be using this a lot for what I do, for when I'm repinning and keying alike. And I just like the whole aesthetic of it, the finish on there. Everything about it, as far as I'm concerned, has been really well thought out and designed, and it's a complete upgrade from what I was using before, which obviously has served its purpose. But I've moved on now, and I can stop worrying about dropping pins everywhere and focus on having something that's been well thought out, well manufactured here in my workshop for doing pinning.